This is Average Sports.
By your average guys.
Eric.
And Ty. That would be so bad.
Yeah. This is Average Sports.
Your average sports.
Average Sports.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of
You're listening to Average Sports with your average guys.
Average Sports, average guys, Eric and Ty.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
I know it. Can you believe it?
Season 3, baby.
Season 3.
Woo!
Are you rested, Eric?
Oh, I'm super rested.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Did you have a great holiday break, Ty?
I did. Happy New Year to you.
Same.
2020.
Same, my man.
All right.
January. Well, I guess mid-January at this point. So, good holiday break for us. Hope you guys, listeners out there, had a great holiday break too. So, we're going to jump into it, and we're starting with something a little bit different this year. And last year and the previous year, we always talked about something we weren't talking about. However, we always noted it, especially in the last, 20 episodes or so, that there was a butthole of something, mostly Tom Brady.
Sometimes that would happen. Okay, easy.
Butthole Tom Brady.
That just snuck in every once in a while. This was really what we're not talking about every episode, and we're kind of changing that format. We just wanted to point out who's the butthole in sports this week.
And we got a good one for you.
I think we do.
Ty, who is our butthole in sports?
It's really all of Penn State football. If you haven't heard the news, look up the story. It's really actually kind of disappointing because it's really who it's about. It's Penn State football.
Yeah.
There is a lawsuit going against that program that the coach turned a blind eye to some hazing in the locker room, that a now former player from 2018 is taking exception to his time there, and now they're going through litigation. And Penn State, come on, man.
Guys, get it right.
Come on, coaching staff.
Come on. You guys had one of the worst scandals in the past 50 plus years with Jerry Sandusky.
Of all sports.
And side note, Joe Paterno knew about it. Don't convince me.
Yeah, come on. What did we learn? Nothing. So we got to move on. That's who we have starting off the show. Getting into, how about a recap, though? We got kind of a lot to talk about because, guess what? It's been a month or so since the last Average Sports episode.
Yeah.
Since we concluded Season 2, so quite a bit has happened, which includes NFL playoffs. We had some good games, some okay games, and just whatever games, including NCAA. So I guess a congrats goes out to the LSU
Tigers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Good comebacks. Really like the comebacks, though, by the way, including the NFL playoffs.
So Kansas City falling down 24 points?
That was awesome to watch in that first half.
Crazy.
However, the second half was
awful.
compared. Yeah, it was awful.
It was so
the entertainment value there. Yeah, I don't know.
Forgot to actually play the second half.
Yeah, I really
second quarter on.
I really like the bad luck Chuck guy, though. Have you heard about that story?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he recorded himself leaving, thinking that he was a bad luck charm, and that he was gonna listen to the game on the way home and watch it from the car. And even Patrick Mahomes chimed in and said, "Yo, bro, you got to stay home.
Stay." He's like, "No problem.
Stay away."
Yeah, buy that guy a beer though if you're a Chiefs fan for sure.
Yes.
If you see him out. What else has happened? Lots of NCAA basketball upsets. We saw KU lose not too long ago to a Baylor team. Clemson has actually been on a tear lately. So going over to the hardwood of Clemson, my goodness, they beat North Carolina for the first time at home.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And there was another...
And they took down Duke, too.
Yeah, another upset today,
recently.
too.
Yeah.
South Carolina beat Kentucky.
Yeah, what's that? What's going on there? So the number one's flip-flopping quite a bit.
But yeah, they've lost quite a few games this year, and 2 to non-ranked teams. It may have been 3, but
yeah. I also watched.
Tough sledding for Kentucky.
Yeah, there was the Michigan State game against what was that? Penn State. Just a few days ago from when we recorded this. That was a big upset as well. Entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
not Penn State. Excuse me. Help me out there. Boilermakers.
That would be Purdue.
Purdue. Come on. Yeah, that was because I was talking about Penn. Purdue. Yeah, they took them down. That was an entertaining game, though. We have the AP Top 25 coming on later in the episode. Anything else on what's going on? How about some other sports headlines. Eric, what have you been watching?
Yeah, some other headlines, obviously, in Major League Baseball. The scandals going on with Houston and Boston, mostly centered around Alex Cora. Houston's already let go of their GM and their coach after being suspended for 1 year. It took about a full day for them to let them go. And Alex Cora has, quote-unquote, mutually parted ways, which no one here believes. Well, it was mutual.
Sure.
You was fired. Get out.
I'm not fired. I quit.
Leader on the video scandals for stealing signs. Which, if you're stealing signs using video, that's faux pas. Definitely
shouldn't
not
do
allowed.
that.
They're just going to do it because they're giving away signs and not changing them. Hey, man, that's on them.
Yeah.
But doing it to use video and then using it in the game, that's not cool. That's some Spygate stuff. So it makes sense that it's out of Boston. Then some of the other stuff. St. Louis Blues, Washington Caps. And top of the NHL, both with 67 points as we talk about it now. Okay. Leaders in the NHL.
Are you excited about that?
Super excited. Okay. LGB, let's go Blues.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
Because my Rangers are horrendous.
Ooh.
Got blown out by the Blues the other night, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And Milwaukee, top of the NBA still. That's not a surprise. They've pretty much been there since the start.
Oh, they look good, though. Speaking of the NBA, Zion, finally. We may be expecting a debut.
Yeah.
Yes, coming on January 22nd. He should be healthy. Expected. This is expected, correct.
And one more thing. I don't want to step on your toes or mow your grass here, but two huge retirements in the NFL yesterday. One was not unexpected, but Mr. Antonio Gates, first ballot Hall of Famer, played an entire career with San Diego Chargers, officially retired for the second time yesterday. And then, of course, we had another huge one, which you put down on your side of the docket.
Right. Luke Kuechly retires, making an announcement, just a couple days ago, I believe, and saying he's feeling it. And he's just, I guess the opposite, not feeling it.
Yeah.
He's ready to just be at peace with where he is. And, he's making that consideration. There you have it. Yeah. You take it for what it is.
Said he can't play hard and fast anymore.
Yeah. A lot of support, though, from the team, which you have to appreciate. Like, lots of good love going toward him from teammates. And, that's what it is. And he did have a hard time staying on the field. So you have to
I just don't
understand and appreciate that.
Yeah. With the 3 diagnosed concussions for him, I just don't think he wants to end up like Antonio Brown.
Sure.
He had another blow up on Twitter. My God, can this guy not?
No, he can't get out of his own way.
Oh, my goodness.
Not at all. So, real quick, though, focusing on the Panthers, do you think what do they do next year?
They're in full rebuild. They're going to do something, especially with Luke Kuechly leaving. They have some really good young wide receivers. I think Cam Newton's going to be the piece there. What do they do with Cam? And then that'll determine if they're going to rebuild or not. NFC South is still going to be competitive. As far as we know, we don't know what's going on with Drew Brees in New Orleans, but they've proven even with Teddy Bridgewater, and Taysom Hill that they can be super competitive. So, yeah. Yep. We'll see what they do with Cam, but I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go full rebuild.
Which is a nice segue into our topic of this episode, which is NFL Central centrated. Dude, I'm just making up words over here, but
WebsterDictionary.com. Ty.
Use it. Learn it. Centrated.
That doesn't sound like a word.
No, I don't think that's right. Anyway, we are NFL focused. On the playoff picture, let's do a little recap. And then what we're really talking about are overtime rules. I'd like to debate that a little bit. Because honestly, it always bubbles up this time of year. Because as soon as you get a playoff game going into overtime, everyone's up in arms about the winner or the loser. Like, wow, that shouldn't have happened, or this, if that had happened. So I'd like to get into it a little bit. First, though, let's break it down. NFC, that was the victors of those were the Packers and the 49ers. 49ers took that game over. The Packers did have a little bit of trouble against Seattle. Looked like Seattle was going to hang in there. They had a couple of chances, but Green Bay did their job and kept the distance. As an 8-point game for quite a while. And honestly, not remembering the exact finish of that one. But either way, the Packers walked away with it. They never even let go of the lead in that game. Same with the 49ers. They tied early in the first quarter, and then it was all San Francisco after that.
It was over pretty quick.
Which was
in San Francisco.
And
it was a much
true surprise. The big surprise was that were the Titans going out on the road against Baltimore. I mean, who picked that? I would have given...
Definitely, it was one of those games where I looked at it, I was like, man, you can't sleep on Tennessee. They're going to be in the game because they are very good defensively. They can run the ball.
Running like crazy.
And with Ryan Tannehill, they've been able to put up points with Brown. But this was Baltimore.
And Tennessee has been like their worst enemy.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Like they'll just like destroy their own game. And so what? You can run the ball all day, but you're going to have a holding call and then just forget about it.
Yeah,
they're locked up right now.
They're still good enough to make the playoffs, and they've been playing really well down the stretch. I definitely would never have picked Tennessee over Baltimore, but I would have expected it to be a very close game, and it wouldn't have surprised me if it was a 3-point win by Baltimore.
I think right there, that's a shout out for our Facebook page. If you thought Tennessee would win, tell us.
But you got to.
We're going to call you a liar. Yeah,
I'm going to call you a liar.
Let us know.
Unless you got a screenshot of a timestamp.
Yeah, we want to see some proof.
I got Tennessee. Then you're not a Tennessee truther.
Yeah.
Well, fan. You can be a Tennessee truther.
And then going back to that Chiefs game, we've already touched base on it a little bit. But man, was that a fun first half. That was crazy town.
Yeah. So quick rundown. Obviously, Tennessee goes to Kansas City. They're a 7-point dog. And Packers go to San Francisco. They're a 7.5-point dog. Those are the spreads at the moment, according to Vegas.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about overtime rules.
I do.
What about the overtime rules are you concerned with? Do you not like? What do you want to see change, Ty?
I want to have a guarantee that both teams had demonstrated they were good enough that you're at a break even. You have to figure out something else. Right? That's what overtime is. Like, we have to have a winner. There can only be one. We can't tie this thing. We have to have someone move on.
Okay.
Both teams should have a chance to touch the ball. Guaranteed. Get away with that. Like that, if you get a touchdown, you win. Or field goal, then it's someone else. It's a little bit confusing, and at this point, I think they should have just that should have been a trial. We're at that point, though. Let's move on from that. I think we've demonstrated that was a helpful rule change, rather than just being able to kick a field goal, 3 points, you're off the field, walk away with it. Go to what college is doing. Set yourself up in the red zone or on the 25, get 4 downs, you score or you don't. Other team's chance, see what they do. What is the final score at the end of that? And you play up like innings. So if either team doesn't score, then you just do it again.
Yeah. I don't like college's overtime. I like it to an extent, but I don't know that I like it for NFL football.
Okay.
But I can get on board with both teams at least getting a possession. An offensive possession. But I don't know that it's going to change anything.
You don't think it'll change anything?
No.
Oh, man. I think there are enough games
I think there's so much talk is because
that would silence a lot of that poo-poo noise afterward of like, well, our team didn't even have the chance. Like, that was dumb. It came down to a coin flip, which I kind of happen to... You have to sympathize with that. It shouldn't come down to a coin flip. Now, one thing I did really hear, that I heard and I did really like, is a kicker's shootout. You back it up. You kick.
God, no.
Oh, I love that idea.
Please, no.
And it shouldn't come to that unless it's dire. We're here for 5 hours and we need to go. Everyone needs to go home.
You've had so many terrible ideas.
Eric, that's a good idea. I really like that.
The
kicker, you hate the kicker. If you were commissioner, you would just do away with kicking altogether. No one would be allowed to kick the football. But I love that there's this scrawny little dude who can kick the football 60 yards.
Do you really want an NFL game in overtime in the playoffs being decided by kickers in a shootout?
Yes.
God,
dude! If you can't finish the game though on time, do better. Otherwise, it's going to the kicker. Yeah.
No, let's not do that. All right, it's such a terrible idea, man, but let me give you something that we can maybe compromise on. And I'm not sold on the idea yet, but I like it because it's different. The XFL overtime rules. It's meant to kind of be that
what was that?
the XFL, which starts after the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So,
is that still a thing that's happening?
Well, yeah, man. We haven't even played one season for them yet. But they do have these really awesome overtime rules where the offenses are each on the field at the exact same time, just on opposite ends of the field. And they are going from, I think it's the 5-yard line, and they have to score.
Okay.
And you get, I think it's 5 tries. And then after the 5 tries, it's sudden death. So whoever scores the most in those 5 tries wins the game. And if it's tied after the 5 tries, then it's just